See, I knew there was a button, and Martin's here like saying not a button.
Are we live now? It said something about us being live. We are indeed live.
We are indeed live.
Boys and girls. You've got buttons. Wait, I'm getting audio. Is that from YouTube? Yeah, it is. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the 93rd round of the Meisterschaft Norisring with RWB, Tugas, and we're not sure who the third round of people are. No idea. I am very
well, there's no Tugas. No Tugas.
What says that in the title?
We have Tugas people, but like I think they're just representing ESR. But I mean, I could be wrong.
Well, thanks for interrupting. No intro for you then.
That hurts my feelings.
Wow, I was going to say something about the man too violent for Dana White's spousal abuse craft thing.
Whoa,
but
whoa. Let's not get the domestic violence in here.
Fair, the man too violent for Pee-wee's Playhouse, Michael Magus.
That's true. I have a lifetime ban.
And that's saying something because Cowboy Curtis is that motherfucker.
All right, so let's run the intro here.
What do you
There, intro was run.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Being Welcomed. This is the third intro of the third round of the Norisring at Meisterschaft. Wait, am I reading that wrong?
Norisring. We're at Norisring.
Something about some DMT. 14
DTM,
out of 16.
sir.
14 out of 16 DMTs approved.
We are here racing DTM cars around Norisring, which is, or Norisring. It's a pretty famous track for like being really, really, really simple, but also producing tremendous carnage and destruction, and that's pretty fun. And you're gonna like it.
Do I have to?
I don't think it has anything to do with you having to. I just think you will.
All right, fair enough.
And it's a pretty short track. It's well, you can see there the lap times people are posting is under a minute. We're talking 49 seconds to 50 seconds to apparently we have a couple of people in the 48-second range, so like 48 to like let's say 51 seconds. And yeah, we have no apparently the stream has no audio from the cars. So I'm gonna fiddle with that. You
do it.
Fill time.
I refuse. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm gonna do push-ups. I might not do any push-ups. Mr. Ed,
I have boosted us up on audio, so if it's good, let me know. And if it's not, respond with the phrase "Gavlux" in chat. There you go.
Do what?
Too loud now. I don't get you. People are just never happy. I didn't turn it up that much.
Turn it up all the way.
I turned it. Okay, I've turned it down a little bit. Are we good now, guys?
Turn it up to 11.
We're on quite the delay.
Just a little lower, you say.
Oh, well, yeah, you said that before I turned it down, though.
What did you say before?
We're on quite a delay, actually. There's a solid 15-second delay between stream and source, actually. So it's quite a bit.
That sounds like it's your fault.
It's not my fault. I'm not the one in charge of that.
You have all the access to the world.
Martin says we're good at... No, it's something to do with like YouTube, like live streaming policies.
Gross.
And we do have the A-OK with it is good from Martin. So at this point, if any audio is terrible, it's Martin's fault. So we're wrapping up the practice here. 9 minutes and change to go. We're going to have a 30-minute qualifying, which will set the grid for race number 1, which will be 30 minutes around Norisring. So, or not Norisring. So that'll probably be, I'm going to say, well, hang on. I can bust out a calculator. about 36 laps. That's the claim from my calculation. So about 36 laps around here. Then we go into race number 2, and we do it all over again. So that'll be fun. So we're going to be live here for about 100 minutes, all told. And you'll be joining us for that, I would assume.
Bonesaw is ready.
Got some big names out in the field today, of course. Tobias Thierolf, Henrik Andreasen, Bertrand Barrier, Clyde Britton, Marco Podowski, Max Haas, Martin Evans, Magic Kashchuk. It is a star-studded field of ESR, RWB, and Tugas talent, including Antonio Costa, Andrew D., the tropical storm known as Josiah Jerome, who's down there in 15th place. Cast your eye down. And, yeah, Rene Herber is really far down the pack. That's a surprise. He's down in 23rd place. That's not normally where you expect him to be.
Your boy Gearhead was supposed to be here, but he's having mechanical problems. Apparently his headset broke. Mike, are you there?
Trying to figure out how to alt-tab out of the game in Parsec, but leave Parsec, and it's not really working well, because when I'm in Parsec, my microphone does not work.
Well, don't do that.
Well, then we're watching the OBS screen here. Is that good for you?
That's what I'm watching.
Okay. No, I know that, but like I can pull the game up and you can see the bigger picture. But
well, you just watch the stream in 15-second delay and then react 15 seconds too late.
Well, you could do that, I suppose.
Because YouTube sucks. But yeah, Parsec's weird. Parsec's a little odd.
It can be a little bit much. It's why we normally the lead play-by-play guy is not also the stream producer. That's a lot on my plate right now.
Well, it sounds like you bought the wrong dishes, motherfucker.
In fact, I am also using VNC to control the camera.
Ooh. Is that like VLC, but not as good?
Speaking of which, VNC decided to close on me, so I'm going to have to refine my way in there and make that happen.
VNC stands for very not cool.
Now VNC is not responding.
Have you tried tickling it?
I don't think that would help, but I'm going to reboot it up and see if we can be successful here. There we go.
Ha-cha-cha. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Red Dead Redemption 2 podcast, where cars play in the background for no particular reason.
We got Race Day Watch in the chat. Hey.
What up?
So we got 28 cars out here today. So everybody has posted a lap time. Surprised to see Laissez Passer at the back of the pack. Normally he's a guy you'd expect to see more like in that 15 to 20 area. But down in 28th place right now, behind RWB Costs. And also Xavier Fugetti is way down in the order. What's going on here?
Drugs.
I mean, I know it's just practice, and we got qualifying to go. So who knows what people are doing here in terms of setup is concerned. What are the fuel levels like? So, I mean, can't really draw too much from this, but it is surprising to see them that far down. As we watch Clyde Britton and also Mad Al work their way through the track here.
So angry.
Mad Al is a highly no, actually, Mad Al is a super chill dude. I've done stewarding with him. He's a cool dude. Sporting the Paul DeResta. That's Paul DeResta's livery.
Throw him in jail immediately.
Andreas Wolf. I don't believe I've seen Mr. Andreas Wolf as he pops up into 8th place with a very solid lap there, but he is sporting the BMW Bank livery that is the livery of Canadian driver Byron Bruno Spengler, who is the only Canadian DTM champion in the history of the series. But I think the only non-European champion, like, full stop.
Except for Senna.
No, Senna never won.
What?
Senna never did DTM.
A likely story.
Let's see here. DTM champions, please. There we go. I am absolutely correct. Oh wait, no, I am not. 2022, Sheldon Vanderlinder of the lovely country of South Africa, picking up a championship in 2022. So there you go, second ever to do that. But Bruno Spengler was the first, winning it back in 2012 for BMW. Also, speaking of first times, that was the first time BMW ever won the DTM championships. There you go. A lot of firsts.
And after that, they were bought out by Daihatsu.
No. After that, Mike Rockefeller won the championship, also for BMW or for Audi, and then BMW won again with Marco Wittmann. And future F1 driver, although now past F1 driver Pascal Wehrlein in 2015. Most championships in DTM history belongs to Bert Schreider. He has 4 of them. Count them, 4. Last won the championship in 2006.
And then Paul Tracy put them all on the wall.
Actually, in all seriousness, Paul Tracy and DTM would have been a thing that I would have paid money to see. I think that absolutely would have suited his style of driving incredibly well. Honestly. All right. You fill time. I have an idea of how to allow us to...
I've been filling time the whole time. What are you doing?
Well, fill more time. I won't be talking is what I'm saying.
I'm just going to yell at Scott. Scott, what's wrong with you? Scott, you're the worst. You smell like rutabagas and fear. And now we wait for a response based on YouTube's time delay. And or if Scott's even going to respond.
All right. I think I got it this time. Ah, there you go.
Well done.
I had to reject my keyboard control in Parsec so I could Alt-Tab out of Parsec to go and find other things. So there you go. Although now that I think about it, I don't know if I can get back into Parsec to close OBS when we're done. But hey, I'll be able to cut us off from YouTube, so you know that'll be fine. That'll be fine.
Step one,
and then Martin can turn off OBS when he's done the race. All right, we're into qualifying here, and Andreas Wolf got up to 6th place. Whoa! Everybody is just deploying out of the pits. Here we go.
It's a stampede.
It is a bit of a stampede. Henrik Andreasen leading the way in the Paul di Resta gray Mercedes. It's kind of the classic AMG factory colors. There's the man to beat, Tobias Thierolf. I believe he is leading the championship. He's in the number 10 Audi car. That is the car of Timo Scheider, I think. Is the driver who occupied that car during this time period.
Not to be confused with Saku Koivu.
Indeed. Saku Koivu would not like to be confused with anyone, I would imagine.
Except maybe Miku Koivu.
I think actually he would probably take more offense to that, to be honest. Because, I mean,
Wow.
Family rivalry it's a strong thing, Byron.
It's just your family.
I mean, might be.
Just a little bit projecting there, sir.
Whoop. One of the Red Bull cars sideways on the track. It's going to affect some things. Purple first sector for Henrik Andreasen, although it should be mentioned early days yet, and he is the guy at the front of the pack, so that might not mean much. So he does second sector, also purple. He's got one of the Deutsche Bank car, or Deutsche Post cars, pardon me. Very close behind him there in the yellow. He's the car of Timo Glock in real life. And Andreasen comes across the line to set the pace. 46.676. That will not stand. We saw 48s in practice, so that will not stand, I don't think, at all. Max Simmons, second place. Andreas Wolf, who had a kind of a terrible lap there in fourth. Russell, Martin Edmonds coming across the line. He had a pair of purple sectors and moves to the top of the timesheets on a 49.56. RWB Marco also in there, along with RWB Rigel. Posting up their times. And Xavier Eugenie, sixth quickest. Andreas Wolf has got 2 personal bests, but no purples up as we speak. Comes across the line here. They're going to get a lot of laps here, of course, because there's a ton. And he is going to go 4th quickest.
Which answers the eternal question, who's afraid of Andreas Wolf?
I'm just being bombarded with some messages here, so bear with me for a moment.
It's not me. It's not me posting memes this time. Are you getting messages all about your newly acquired toe fungus farm? Or perhaps they are trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty.
No, Scott Nick just had some questions.
Oh, about my mental sanity and all that kind of stuff?
I mean, probably, for being completely honest. So, where are we? Tobias Theerolf has hit the front. All right. Henrik Andreasen with a purple first sector, looking to move up back to the front of the field. Purple in sector 2 as well. Could be our first guy to make it into the 48s here. He's on pace for it right now. And across the line he goes, and yes, he is! 48.883, Henrik Andreasen to the front. It's your boy, Josiah Drone.
Indeed. We'd like Josiah to do very well for no other reason than I haven't seen him do extremely well in quite a while, but I'm not sure why.
He's been kind of a midfield face in this DTM series. Martin Edmonds was on pole, now 6th place. Martin in the Playboy car. Raul Valoria has bettered his first and second sector times as he is trying to slipstream behind the Mike Rockenfeller liveried car, but stays 10th place. Did improve on his time, but not on his position. Dirk Greschel, currently in 9th place. Repping the BMW bank. By the way, you know you made it as a car manufacturer when you have your own bank.
That is kind of a thing. Wait,
he was second place. There you go from Dirk.
Udo Dirk Schneider. Very well done.
I was gonna say he had a purple first sector, so he was a threat. Here comes Laissez Passer. And he is 24th quickest. And that would be last. Let's see here. Let me pull up the camera control. We have yet to see a lap time posted by Clyde Britton, Steve Davidson, RWB Dave Crew, or Mad Al, but all of those, with the exception of Dave Crew, are on track and trying to post lap times. Looks like a pretty decent run here from Marco Badowski right now. He's taken a couple of tenths off, had a purple first sector, and a personal best in Sector 2, and we'll go 17th quickest. I'll be honest, I thought he would improve more there. And just checking that Byron can hear me right now, because you haven't said much in a bit. Oh,
can't hear a thing.
That's good. I'm just making sure that I don't have the same microphone problem when I pull up VNC. That would be very inappropriate.
Now, at some point, I would have gone, did you die? Are you dead? Have you, in fact, kicked the basket?
Clyde Britton in 4th place. He's got a personal best Sector 1 and a personal best Sector 2. Should be good enough to take him up to 2nd place if he can keep it going here in Sector 3.
What about the mysterious 5th sector?
Well, there is no 5th. I guess the 5th sector would be the pit lane.
Gotta get the fastest time through the pit lane, and then you get the quadruple crown.
Made a mistake in the final turn and comes out about 3 tenths off. So no improvement there. Tobias Thierolf in 6th place, but he's got a purple first sector. Personal best in Sector 2. This could be a 2nd place run. Could even be pole. Wouldn't be that hard to see that coming. And he crosses the line. No improvement. Looks like people are not getting that final turn all that correctly. Because that basically is the entirety of the 3rd sector. It's basically just that final turn. Marco Badowski. Oh, wait, this is Martin Edmonds. There we go. I was going to say, Marco Badowski is not rocking the Playboy car. He is the Red Bull car, which is the other overused livery in the field.
Martino Edminski.
2 personal best for Martin, and he moves up to 8th place. Okay, everyone but Steve Davidson has now posted a lap time. So, oh wait, Steve did it. I was going to say, I'll check in with Steve, but then he put up a lap time.
You post him, Steve Dave.
Mm-hmm. With 20th quickest. Tobias Thierolf back up into 3rd. It's a very tight field today, of course. Not a lot to this track. And honestly, a lot of how you're going to be able to get through putting up a good lap time is just going to be traffic management here, because this is well, you can see we got like what, 8 cars on the track right there in front of you, and yeah, it's a little bit of congestion. It's a little bit look a little bit like the QEW towards Toronto. As Max Haas fails to improve on his lap time. Steve Davidson did, though, up to 16th place. We got a purple first sector for Bertrand Barrier, who is all over the place here. That car is squiggling around the track right now. We'll see if he can... Yeah, we'll see if that's just him being completely on the edge, or if he can deliver. No, I don't think he's going to improve. He's already point 168 up, and I mean, I guess that technically would still have a shot at Thierolf, but not really. He'll come across the line with another failure to improve. A couple of cars in the pit lane, including pole sitter Henrik Andreasen right now. But we do have like what, we have 23 cars out on track, and it's a very small track. Oh, Tobias Thierolf up into 2nd place. Being very close to pole position there. 0.013 off. Max Haas, purple first sector. See what he can do in Sector 2 here.
I believe he will go 5 million miles an hour.
Personal best. 0.302 up right now. Might be able to move into the top 10 with that kind of pace. Could be like 8th place, even 7th place. Let's see here as he comes across the line and fails to improve. Bad 3rd sector.
Wow, so accusatory. He tried his best. He's working on the power side.
I am not questioning if he tried his best.
Unbelievable.
My mouse decided to go wandering there as I went back into Parsec to adjust something.
And now you're off playing.
Ooh, Antonio Costa, 2 purple sectors, but unable to improve his time. That's interesting. RWB Cost coming around in the Mike Rockenfeller Schaeffler car. That's not the champion car that Rockenfeller won the title in, although it is the same livery. When he won the title, he moved from car 99 to car number 1. Back to 99. By the way, Mike Rockenfeller had a horrible accident here a couple of years ago at this very, very track. So it's just kind of funny that we have guys kind of cosplaying as Mike Rockenfeller out there with his livery. And he almost got murdered when Gary Paffett had his brakes lock up at turn 1. He overtook the car behind Rockenfeller and slammed into Rockenfeller's driver's side of the car. It was a very, very serious accident. Max Simmons at 19th place. We are not used to seeing Max Simmons this far back. I'm just saying that right now. Like, I get that he's only like a second off of pole position. This is a very tight grid. We have less than a second separating the top 20 cars. It is surprising to see Max back there, but he moves up into 16th place. Bertrand Barrier, 2 purple sectors through Sector 1 and Sector 2. Let's see if he can come across here and do something. I will say this right now to everyone that's driving the Deutsche Post car, a.k.a. the Timo Glock car, a.k.a. car 16. I'm just going to say it right now. I'm going to forget who you are because there's like, there's a lot of you. That appears to be definitively our most popular livery. We got Bertrand Barrier, Clive Britton, Laissez Passer. Okay. There's only 3 of them. It was just very unfortunate there that I think I saw all 3 of them on the screen at the same time. And it's not too bad, actually.
Scott Nick reports from chat that these cars are made out of very light shells. I believe he means like rigatoni or something like that.
They are indeed really, really, really thin shells. These are what are called silhouette cars, which means that they're essentially not cars, in the sense that they're not what you would have as road legal. Basically, it's taking the vague form of a Mercedes, an Audi, and a BMW, and making it completely out of the lightest material known to mankind. Like, these are exceptionally fast cars, and they in real life will crumple very badly when they hit things, which I don't think the game truly brings to the table. But Scott also does say that yes, rigatoni is totally the answer. Jake Wilson coming around. Jake Wilson with 2 really good sectors. Here we go. 15th place. I'm not used to these smaller numbers meaning so many positions. That's what it comes down to. Like, it's super tight. We're now got 21 cars within a second of each other. It's kind of insane. Tobias Thierolf is in 2nd place, but he's got purples in the 1st and 2nd sector. Let's see if he can bring it home here and pip Henrik Andreasen, who is not on track. He's kind of sitting on his lap time.
I mean, I would
and too. He does not take it. Still 2nd place for Tobias Thierolf.
There is such a thing as overtrading.
A mechanic that is present in these cars is they do have drag reduction system, aka DRS. Now, what DRS does is allows you to basically flatten the rear wing out to make you faster in a straight line. You can use this 3 times per lap, and I believe you have to be within 1 second at the start of the lap to the next car to have DRS. Now, the downside of DRS is that if you try to turn the car while DRS is engaged, you will probably spin out and hit a wall because the car is incredibly unplanted when DRS is activated. It really just wants to go in a straight line. So that'll be something to see managed out here. And and put into play here over the course of the race. Races,
what you're saying is you should use it all right off the bat. And then
no. Here there's three massive straightaways that you would use it on here. It's a pretty easy comparison. Max Haas going to 11th.
Get the hot jump right off the line. Just wow, all the nitros, baby.
No, I think that would be a terrible idea, actually.
Terrible or awesome?
No, terrible. Like just terrible. Like people would die.
So awesome.
Barrier again with the purple first sector. He just can't seem to put together the third sector. But he is in third place, so it's not a bad place to be. Top 10 rundown, Andreasen, Thierolf, Barrier, Josiah Jerome up in fourth place. Gretschel, Clyde Britton, Antonio Costa, Marco Badowski, Andreas Wolf, and RWB Rigel. Your top 10.
Who's the badass key?
Badowski.
Oh.
Antonio Costa flipping spots with Clyde Britton. Takes over 6th place. Josiah Jerome is a good lap. It's a good lap. Not able to break into the top 3.
We will have to have him executed.
I don't believe his country believes in that.
Which country is that?
One of the various countries he has repped over his time in ESR.
You have to be very specific.
The chat wants to see Martin do better, but he is in 12th place, and we'll see. We'll see. Raul Valoria's got a decent lap going on here. Let's see if he can move on up. Yes, he can, actually. He'll flip spots with Max Simmons. Bertram.
I say Bertram.
Still third quickest. Haven't seen the top 5 change in a bit. So I think we're one of the Deutsche Post cars in the wall. Check in on Martin. And maybe an improvement. Yep. Moves into 11th place, displacing Max Haas. What is our most popular car today, actually, livery-wise?
That would be the black one. Because that's what I see on the screen right now.
It is pretty popular.
Either the black one or the yellow one.
My personal favorite is still the number 2 car there, the Eurotronics car. Nigel Wood's got, Gary Pafik's car. Or possibly the Mike Rockefeller car that RWB Koss is repping. But they're the only ones, I think, in them. Oh, wait, no, I'm wrong. RWB Audi also has the Rockefeller Schaeffler car. Turn the auto directory back on and let it pick up what's going on. Down to our last 10 minutes here.
10 minutes. My goodness. I think everybody who hasn't qualified should be disqualified.
Well, they've all qualified, so you're lucky.
See, I was right.
Everybody has posted a lap time. They're all up there, all 28 cars.
And or we're kung fu fighting. So if Andreas doesn't win, does he have to return to Castle Wolfenstein?
I mean, possibly.
Also, your boy, Tobias the Theoretical Wolf, has taken pole.
He has indeed. I was communicating with Martin, and I missed that.
Martin, he's racing. He cannot be communicated with.
Laissez-passer, 26th place. Seeing if he can improve, but I don't think he will on this lap. And I am correct. I turned the session information off on your screen. My apologies, everybody.
Turn it all off. I only want to see the tires of the cars independently rolling around. It would be pretty funny.
Josiah Jerome coming across the line yet again. Unable to break into the top three. Still finds himself behind Theorolf, Andreasen, and Barrier. Theorolf and Andreasen both in the pit lane. Not currently out there trying to better their lap times. RWB Rigel, also in the top 10, is sitting in the pits. The driver with the most laps completed in the session, by the way, if anyone was interested, is Magic Kaschuk.
Dang.
Down in 16th place, he has done 26 laps.
Pretty good amount.
Bertrand Barrier, unable to improve on... Well, I think he actually did improve on his lap time, but I don't think... He did not improve on his position.
But did he improve his posture?
For those interested at home, 5 people have broken the 48.9-second mark. That is Theorolf, Andreas and Barrier, Jerome, and Greschel. And most of the field has broken the 50-second mark. Only the back 6 cars have failed to do so far. And Laissez-Passer, who's out on track now, is very, very close to being able to do it. His lap time is 50.012 right now. Chat says only one Brit in the top 10. I wouldn't say I'm overly surprised by that, to be honest. I'm looking at the people outside the top 10 who happen to be of the British persuasion, and there's not really anyone that I would have expected to be in there, if I'm being entirely honest. Like maybe Nigel Wood, maybe, but that's about it.
But maybe Nigel would not.
Nigel Wood had a phenomenal race last time out with Josiah Jerome and a couple other people when we did live commentary with Gearhead for the Red Bull Ring race. That was phenomenal. We can only hope that we get like a tenth of that action, although we probably will. Norisring does breed a lot of action, so we'll probably have plenty.
What if I told you That they're going to do the whole race under pace car.
Under pace car, you say? Mm.
Yep.
Also, just an FYI, Martin, the spectator tool has just mentioned that there is apparently an update available, so you might want to. Qualifying is winding down here. A lot of cars are in the pit lane right now. So everyone's got a little bit more space to go on, but that means that you're not getting nearly as much of a draft on some of these straightaways here. I'm aware of how to pronounce it, Scott. I will continue to pronounce it as Lizé, though, until the driver in question tells me to stop. Josiah, oh, that's in the wall.
We just start calling him Laser Passer.
Laser Passer? Oh, Josiah, I don't know how to tell you this, but I think with the with that damage on your front end, I don't think you're going to improve on your lap time. You hit the wall pretty hard there.
It's fine. It's a new technique.
Only got 10 cars out on track now, so they're got some room to play with. Looks like Bertrand. Yep, Bertrand pulling out of that run. He will start no better than third place. As we're at the point where people are getting their last 1 or 2 laps in. Josiah's still out there trying to improve on his lap time with that messed up front end. I appreciate his stick-to-itiveness. As the results come up to play, although there is still a little bit of time left. But Tobias Thierolf on the pole position ahead of Henrik Andreasen, Bertrand Barrier, Josiah Jerome, Dirk Grushel, Antonio Costa, Clive Britton, Andreas Wolf, Marco Badowski, RWB Rigel, Martin Edmonds, Max Simmons, Max Haas, Raul Valoria, Dave Crew, Magic Kazchuk, Nigel Wood, Jake Wilson, Steve Davison, Andrew D, Matt Al, RWB Marco, Laissez Passer, RWB Audi, Rick Martel, Xavier Eugeni is still way down there. That is surprising to me, along with Rene Ermer down in 26th and 27th place, and RWB Costs bringing up the rear. Andreas Wolf heading out for the 2-minute warm-up we have here, Byron. So what are you looking forward to in the race?
I am looking forward to the race. I have no... Apparently a lot of people are saying there's going to be carnage. That'd be cool.
Norisring usually does breed such carnage.
However, usually when people are telling me how much carnage and zany and craziness is going to go on, that doesn't happen. Because everybody's hyper aware of it.
Good point. Good point. I don't really know if this track allows for, even with hyper awareness, allows for avoiding it, though. But we will see. We will see.
Fair enough. I am looking forward to
Did
yellow
we?
cars.
I think we lost our pole sitter, actually. I'm looking over at the screen here. We're down to 27 cars.
Whoa.
I realized it when Barrier got moved up, but I don't see Tobias Thirlwolf now.
Did they, didn't Martin say something about them rebooting the server or something? Or did that happen previously?
Did he say it like now?
I don't remember the context. I just remember him saying it when he was with us earlier.
Oh no, that's between races that they're it's not rebooting the server, it's that the spectator tool tends to disconnect between races and then you got to reconnect.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it looks like we might have lost our pole sitter. This could be a big deal for the championship.
First of all, Scott, stick-to-itiveness is a word. Second of all, you spelled it wrong. There's no hyphens. It's French, you wouldn't understand.
So that would put Henrik Andreasen and Bertrand Barrier on the front row, unless there's going to be some kind of corrective action taken here. We will see.
We will use this stick to correct them.
I would give you the full rundown of the updated grid, but of course, a couple of people have actually put lap times in, so now now it's not on my screen anymore. So here we go. We wait for the grid to form up here. There we go. Yeah, hyper-adrenaline overcoming situational awareness is usually a thing that happens at the start here. So we'll find...
Tobias in chat, he got disconnected.
Oh, no.
Bro, you were doing awesome. You were
doing awesome.
All pulled up.
You were on pole. Now it's Henrik leading the way from Barrier.
Twirl around the pole.
All right, 27 cars, 30 minutes around the Norisring. I keep saying Nordschleife. Here we go. And it is a better start from Andreasen, but it is really Josiah Jerome who's up from third place, trying to take the lead here into turn number 1 in the number 17 car in the red and black. And I think he's got it. He's down the inside of the pole sitter. And in fact, also possibly going through is Bertrand Barrier, perhaps into second place. So Henrik Andreasen from first to third in the first corner. Still going side by side with Bertrand Barrier, gets back past him. In fourth place, we got Antonio Costa, then Dirk Gretschel, Andreas Wolf, Clyde Britton, pardon me, RWB Rigel, Marco Badowski, and Max Haas, your top 10. Nothing too bad has happened so far.
Told you.
So far.
Take it nice and slow. Everybody keep it below 25.
Oh, I hear they're not going below 25. They're up over 200 kilometers an hour right now.
Safety first, boys.
Down into the first corner yet again. It's nice to see Josiah Jerome up front. We have not seen it in a while, but bad news for ESR. Steve Davidson off to a bad start. He's down to 26th place. Also, what I do like is that Antonio Costa there, that number 13 car that he's driving, that is driven by Antonio Costa in DTM. I assume it is a different Antonio Costa, but well played. Clyde Britton in 7th place. You see the blinking green when they're using the DRS. And
blinking green.
That'll be fun to see. Well, I'll point it out when someone is using it. I started saying that while someone was on screen using DRS, and then they weren't on screen whenever.
Well, you're in charge of the cameras.
Yeah, but I don't want to mess with the auto director too much right now. The auto director is going to do a good job right now. As Andreas Wolf goes side by side with Clyde Britton and retains the position. There you go. See where it says remaining two with DRS blinking? There you are. That's DRS.
It actually says DRS on the screen. Fair enough.
And you'll see also when they press it that there is an animation on the rear wing of the cars. There it goes. That actually shows when they're going in DRS mode, which is very cool. The wing kind of bends backwards. Josiah Jerome's lead is under threat. Down the inside goes Henrik Andreasen and into the lead. Although inside line for the next turn is Josiah's. See if he can fight back here. Audi versus Mercedes. And Josiah, oh, little contact.
Audi versus Indy.
Escorts him to the edge, and Bertrand Barrier is like, yes, let the hate go through you. Give me the lead. Josiah still up in front there in the number 17 car. Got his DRS going. No DRS from Henrik Andreasen, though. So that should secure the lead into the first corner. Oh, Bertrand Barrier getting contact with Antonio Costa. Holds the position. I think Costa gave up on that one and didn't go for it. I'm feeling bad about the contact. Clyde Britton is ahead of Andreas Wolff now into 6th place. And that is Rigel in the number 53 orange car in behind him. Max Simmons up into the top 10.
Finally, somebody laughs at my Audi versus Indy joke. Tremendous. Thank you, Scott.
Henrik Andreasen on the DRS for way through. Clyde Britton as well. Britton is lost back out to Wolff. Or no, pardon me. He's attacking Dirk Greshel. I'm being thrown off here because he's in a Bruno Spengler sandwich. Same livery in front and behind him. Clyde Britton trying to battle his way up into the top 5.
The king of the
held
Britons.
Off by Dirk Greshel for the time being. We've lost RWB Dave Crew from the race, by the way. So we have had our second casualty.
Oh, was that not Rod Carew?
No, that is Dave Carew. Antonio Costa running in 4th place. And the lead has shifted back to Andreasen.
It's the king of the Britons.
It is Clyde Britton looking to get back into the top, or looking to get into the top 5 against Greshel. Oh
boy!
Loses control a little bit there.
Just goes.
But I think he'll retain. Marco Podolski in the Red Bull, the only Red Bull in the top 10. Running in 9th place ahead of Max Simmons and behind RWB Rigel. And also on the back end of this battle is Martin Edmonds in 11th place. Scott Nick saying that Josiah has proven to be a surprising opponent for Henrik Andreasen. I think you're just underrating Josiah Jerome, sir. There was a time when Josiah Jerome was the next Mike Stocknell for a time there, in terms of the rapid improvement he was displaying and the rapido pace that he was capable of putting up there. It's just been a while, is all.
And just because he's 15 doesn't mean he can't still improve.
You can always improve. Steve Davidson at the back of the pack. Andrew D also having a rough day. The Canadian flag not being waved terribly well right now. Martin's up in 11th place. He's our top man. And Rick Martell's having a good day. He's up to 19th place. But a couple of guys towards the back in the forms of Andrew D and Steve Davidson. A couple people are further back. Max Haas back in 23rd place. I wonder what happened to him because he was towards the front when we kicked this pig. I think he started in 11th place. So he's had a rough day at the office.
Could be worse. Could have taking part in all the carnage I was hearing about.
Indeed, it's been a pretty, well, I mean, he might have been involved in some carnage we didn't see, to be honest, because, you know, losing 12 spots is losing 12 spots.
Because our cameraman is the worst.
We haven't seen any particular carnage yet, actually. Everyone's been exceedingly well behaved. I mean, we've seen a little bit. We saw some side-by-side contact into turn 1. Max Simmons getting a little bit loose there out of turn 1. Martin Edmonds trying to go on the attack. Martin way later on the DRS. A couple of cars bottoming out, giving us a little shower of sparks. And that would be Clyde Britton, who spun out there and dropped backwards through the field a little bit. Losing out to Marco Badowski and dropping from 6th place down to 9th place. Antonio Costa still running in 4th. Pretty much has been there since the start of the race. And RWB Rigel trying to get around Andreas Wolf for 6th place.
I still don't see any Gulf oil out there, so we'll probably have to call this race off too.
There are no Gulf oil liveries in DTM. It's actually, I'm actually legitimately disappointed that there are no, that there are no Gulf liveries in DTM. It feels like a missed opportunity. RWB Rigel looking for the move. Into turn 1, trying to get 6th place off of Wolf, and he will. Clyde Britton also swapping spots with Marco Badowski. Martin Edmonds in the background trying to get past Max Simmons. And trying to go around the outside of the last turn. I don't think that's a winning proposition, but he's making it interesting. See if he can make this move stick down to the first turn. Martin Edmonds in the Audi. Max Simmons in the Mercedes. Up ahead, Clyde Britton trying to make a move on Andreas Wolf, and he gets it, and so does Marco Badowski, actually. So Wolf losing out on 2 spots there and dropping back to 9th place.
Badowski does Goodowski.
Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, Andreasen is pulling ahead out the front. He's got a 3+ second lead over Josiah Jerome. And that means that there is no DRS considerations. And Josiah probably is going to be looking backwards against Bertrand Barrier, more so than forwards, to trying to go for that victory. In fact, speaking of Barrier, down the inside into turn 1, and he is going to get that done. Oh, except that he loses traction in the corner and might end up actually losing a spot here to Antonio Costa. And around the outside to the inside, Barrier hangs on to 3rd place for the time being. Dirk Reschel in the BMW Bank car is the other BMW in that mix. All 3 fighting for top BMW honors, as is Mercedes leading the way from Audi, BMW, 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 Audi, BMW, Audi, BMW, Audi. Not a lot of Mercedes, despite having the race leader. The next highest Mercedes in the field is Max Simmons in 11th place. Down the inside goes Costa. I think he's overshot that, though. And Barrier will retain 3rd place.
You say there weren't any BMWs in this race? Is that what I was hearing?
No, I said there are many BMWs in this race. I said there was only 1 Mercedes in the top 10.
I didn't even hear you say BMW was.
Ah. You mean for the fact that there's a BMW in 3rd, 4th, 5th, 7th, and 9th?
I don't really believe that. I think that's a graphical error.
We've lost Steve Davidson from the race, so we are down to 25 cars. So Tobias Thierol taken out by technical difficulties, and we have now lost Dave Crew and Steve Davidson during the race. Still is a race 2, so hopefully Dave and Steve both hang around for that. Oh, something happened with Andreas Wolf. Unfortunately, I can't give you a replay, but you can probably extrapolate what happened there at turn 2. Up off the track and dropping backwards.
He's
joining behind Magic Kazchuk and dicing with Raul Valoria. And Valoria down the inside. Makes the move stick, at least for now. Andreas Wolf trying to get back up into 14th. You'd have to assume he's going to be the hunter here for the next little bit because he was a guy who was very embedded in that top 10 fight. Down the inside into turn 1. A little bit of contact, nothing too bad. A little bit of bump and pass there against Valoria. Jake Wilson on the attack in the Pink Panther, the BWT car.
Dun, 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 dun.
It is driven by Lucas Auer and the
no, I think that's
real
Jake
DTM
Wilson.
third. Oh,
No!
Jake Wilson gets a little bit out of shape there. Ends up giving a little bit of a smack to laissez-passer. And now might be under attack here from Max Haas, who is coming through the field after his early difficulties. And in the background, a side-by-side action between Xavier Eugeni and Matt Al. Wilson's going to hang on. RWB Marco putting the pressure on Rick Martel. Battle for 23rd place.
Good old Nicolas Cage.
Give the guys at the back a little bit of love as much as the guys at the front. Oh, I've not heard that Lucas Auer had a big owie last week there, Scott. Would you like to provide details? RWB Marco still trying to make his way through. And he get the job done here. He is ahead on the start-finish straight, heading down to turn 1. And I think he's got this done. Yep. Oh, Rick got very close under braking. Jake Wilson back up on laissez-passer, but he's brought Max Haas with him as well as Matt Al. Pressure on in the battle for 15th place. Josiah Jerome is out of the race. No.
Why have you done this to him? What have you done, Michael?
Josiah. Oh, no, hang on. He's back on now. Let's get the camera on him here. Not sure what happened. He's down to 25th place now. Wonder if he had some kind of technical failing as Max Haas does overtake Jake Wilson for 16th position.
He was just so far out ahead that the game glitched out and now thinks he's in the back of the pack.
Well, I find that probably unlikely. Raul Valoria is also off track right now and dropping through the order. I think we got to disconnect the areas. So Raul Valoria out. Dirk Greschel putting the pressure on for what is now a podium held by Antonio Costa. And they've all caught up to Henrik Andreasen. So Andreasen maybe had a problem. Did he have a spin out? Maybe collected Josiah Jerome in some way? I don't know. But all of a sudden, he's gone from being a guy 3 seconds ahead and looking pretty comfortable to a guy who is 0.6 ahead of Bertrand Barrier. And as you can see, has a train of cars down to 6th place behind him. RWB Rigel, by the way, also up into the top 5. A solid run. Martin Edmonds up to 8th. Max Simmons, RWB Audi into the top 10. Jake Wilson is just having a rough time getting back past Xavier Eugeni, but Eugeni did make it past him there for a bit, number 12 car. And now it is Wilson ahead. But now Wilson, admittedly, I think crossed the line behind Xavier, so he'll have the DRS, and hopefully he'll be able to open up a gap. Although not if he keeps having moments of squiggles like that there. And behind them, they've got Andrew D. trying to make his way through in the Robert Wickens Mercedes. As well as Rene Ermer in the Red Bull liveried Audi. Max Haas, laissez-passer, going side by side in turn 1. Passe manages to slip down the inside. Max Haas. I gotta say, it doesn't feel like this is a battle that Passe is actually in on. Like it does feel like Max Haas is, for lack of a better term, a guy in a different race than him, and maybe needs to consider not fighting this super hard, because it is going to benefit Matt Al and Jake Wilson in behind. Andreas Wolf has caught up to Nigel Wood, who is now suddenly actually knocking on the door of the top 10. Up ahead of them, that is RWB Audi, maybe? No.
Maybe. No.
No, it is RWB Audi, but he just got out of their way. That was interesting. A little bit weird. So Nigel Wood is up into the top 10 now. 10th place with Andreas Wolf on his tail. And Dirk Greschel with an overtake over Antonio Costa. Let's see if Costa can come back at him. Battle for 3rd place. And amongst the top BMW offerings. Martin Edmonds on the tail of Max Simmons further back. Max Haas trying to make his way past Passe as well.
And gray car coming around the black car, followed by the yellow car, followed by the yellow car, followed by the yellow car.
It's an orange car in there.
It's dark yellow.
Actually, what will get more confusing is if you look at the windshield or on the window, you'll see the real life driver name, and the real life's driver is Jamie Green. So, get the orange car, but it says green on it.
So somebody's colorblind, but we're not saying who.
Always did feel like a miss that there are a couple of like green sponsorships in the DTM field. You think with a driver named Jamie Green, they would have color coordinated that. Working their way through some back markers here as well. Coming on up.
Moving on up to the north side.
I feel like the north side of any city is usually not necessarily the nice side, but yeah.
Wow.
Actually, I guess that's kind of wrong. The north side of Toronto is quite nice. That's into the Vaughan area. But the Lakeshore is where it's at, so the south side is your best spot. Bet. Costa going side by side with RWB Rigel into turn 1. We'll see if Costa can retain his 4th place, but it doesn't look like it. The number 53 car is through, and Rigel is into 4th place. He has been moving forward slowly throughout this race. Jake Wilson on the tail of Mad Al. Battle for 16th place between the Pink Panther and the Paul DeRuster Rocket. And just ahead of that is the battle between Max Haas and Laissez Passer over 14th place. And Wilson does indeed sweep around Mad Al into 16th place. Saw that in the background there for the Pink Panther. Andreassen's back out to 1.4 seconds, 2.1 now actually. Oof, that just took a big jump over Bertrand Barrier.
Over Bertrand Barrier, over the fence,
and a mistake by Max Simmons. I was going to say I felt a overtake coming between Martin and Max, and we come in and see that Max went a little bit wide through turn 1, and that has indeed promoted Martin Edmonds to 8th place. Meantime, Passet and Haas are battling hard. Wilson coming up in behind them, and he's bringing Mad Al with them. And this is kind of what I was saying earlier, that I don't think Passet's fight is really with Haas. It's with Wilson and it's with Mad Al. And they're catching up, as well as Andrew D. actually in the background. They're catching up while Haas tries to get through. And it's just killing the lap times, I think. Side by side into the final turn. Passet stays ahead. What has Passet's lap time been lately? Yeah, Passet currently is lapping in the high 50-second range, which is not a ridiculously slow lap or anything, but it's a good second off of his pace. Really would possibly just be better served letting Haas through and focusing on what feels like his actual battle here with the Pink Panther and Mad Al. Meantime, Max Simmons is back on the tail of Martin Edmonds for 8th place. Looking to make a move down the inside into turn 1, which is the best overtaking spot on the track. And he is through.
So what we need to do is get a big plow in the front of Martin's car, and then he can just start chucking people out the way.
Haas has gotten clear of Passet, finally breaking the battle. Jake Wilson looking to the inside. We'll see if he can make the turn 1 overtake stick, and yes, he can. Big snap of oversteer there for Passet, who is in fact in danger from Mad Al now. Meantime, RWB Rigel going side by side with Bertrand Barrier for 2nd place. Dirk Greschel and Antonio Costa, Clyde Britton on the tail there as well. As I was going to say Marco Badowski, but I think that's a lapped car. Might actually be Josiah Jerome, actually, in the black and red Audi at the back of his back. Can't think of who else it would be. And we lose Passet, it looks like. Yeah, he's in the pits. Also lost Andreas Wolf earlier. So a couple of big names. Field is shrinking. 22 cars left. We started with 28.
And then there's going to be a 100% reverse grid, double reverse.
I don't actually know what the reverse grid's going to be. Usually do top 10 or top 12. Find out.
Everybody throws a tire in the middle, and then we put out a blindfold and separate them out by atomic weight.
Matt Al losing out to Andrew D there in the number 6 car. It's for 15th place. And RWB Audi and Nigel Wood, pardon me. Thinking of Aussie supercars there for a second with Dale Wood. No, this is Nigel Wood. They're battling over 9th place. Looks like RWB Audi has taken a little bit of damage there on the side. The body work is a little bit crumpled. Tobias says, by the way, it'll be top 10 reverse grid.
Very nice.
RWB Audi down the inside in the Schaeffler car, and he's got it. It's 9th place.
Top 10 perverse grid.
So indeed, that would be the battle right there for the front row of the reverse grid. Right now, that would be Nigel Wood on pole and RWB Audi in 2nd place. Max Simmons is in behind them. Not sure what happened with Max. He was up with Martin battling over 8th place. Now finds himself back in 11th place. Magic Kashchuk has made his way through to 12th. Max Haas, Jake Wilson, Andrew D, Matt Al, Rene Ermer, Xavier Eugeni, RWB Marco, Rick Martel, RWB Koss, and Josiah Jerome are the still running cars.
Would it be funny if RWB Audi was driving a BMW?
It would be, but he is driving a BMW or an Audi. Pardon me. He's got the Mike Rockefeller 99 livery. As Bertrand Barrier getting a little bit out of shape there as he's trying to get back at RWB Rigel. As RWB Koss gets out of the way. Clyde Britton has fallen off the back of this, as well as Antonio Costa. They've actually dropped behind Marco Badowski, so I wonder if they had maybe a little bit of a hookup.
These have been true facts of the baby echidna.
These guys coming up to lap, potentially Rick Martel, maybe?
I find that hard to believe.
It's the number 12 car. And I believe that is the livery that Rick Martel is running, and it would make sense based on the area the blue flags are up to.
Is he the gray, black, yellow, or orange car?
He is the black with the Spanish flag numbers on the top.
Sí, español. Oh, actually, I've just had a knock on the door. I'll be right back.
That is the livery of Daniel Yunkadea. This is pretty much the closest battle we're looking at right now. There is a battle going on between Clyde Britton and Antonio Costa. There is a battle further back as well. There's more stuff going on. We'll check it on that, actually. Martin Edmonds is caught up to the back of this fight between Clyde Britton and Antonio Costa. And Britton's car does look a little bit worse for wear on the inside of the final turn. And that is a very wide line by Costa. He loses out to Martin Edmonds as well. And in fact, I didn't realize it, but the checkered flag is out. And this is for the very, very end of the race, basically. Final lap, I do believe. In fact, yes, I do believe that was the final lap. Max Simmons was trying to get past Nigel Wood at the end. He was unable to. Andrew D. running against Jake Wilson, pardon me. Come across the line 14th and 15th, followed by Matt Al. And there are the final results. Henrik Andreasen, your winner and fastest lap taker, taking it by 5.7 seconds over RWB Rigel. Bertrand Barrier in 3rd. Dirk Greschel, Marco Badowski. Marco Badowski had a really quiet day picking his way through the field, just taking advantage of everybody else's mistakes. Ends up with a 5th place. Clyde Britton, Martin Edmonds, Antonio Costa, RWB Audi, and Nigel Wood will be your reverse grid. So Wood on pole. Max Simmons, Magic Kashchuk, Max Haas, Jake Wilson, Andrew D, Matt Al, Rene Ermer, Xavier Eugeni, RWB Marco, Rick Martel, Josiah Jerome, and RWB Cost. Oh, RWB Cost fell out right at the end of the race. That's unfortunate. I'm legitimately a little bit disappointed by that. We'll see if we get kicked here and if we need to harass Martin into giving me keyboard access back again so we can log back in. Does happen periodically. Between races, it seems. Yep.
I have returned just in time to enter the password.
Yeah, I needed Martin to give me back keyboard access so I can do it.
My neighbor was knocking on the door asking to buy smokes. I'm like, sir, I am not your average tobacco enjoyer.
Mm.
Also, you could just go to, I don't know, the 7-Eleven that's a block away, or the Petrocan that's the block the other way.
Mm. Maybe he didn't have cash.
Well, I mean, he offered me coins.
Oh, he offered you payment. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, then I don't know.
That was my reaction too.
I mean, I would say that if he was where I am, I could understand it because it is cold. It is cold here.
It's been +5 overnight here, so it's fine.
All right. Well, Mr. Martin, if you could please give us control of the keyboard so we can get it. Okay, it looks like Martin's doing things. Okay. We will be running here shortly, everybody. Indeed, Tobias Thierolf, no Germans on the podium.
Who's throwing stuff on the podium?
Tobias had said that there was no Germans on the podium.
That is correct.
Indeed.
Some people might not have abandoned the race, and they might have won.
I'm not sure what Martin's doing. I'm a little bit confused right now.
I believe he's entered the password. And now we are joining the thing. Is that not true?
Oh, there we go. Well, I was watching on the... I was making sure not to interfere, so I was watching on the stream instead of the live.
We're doing live! Here we are. The carnage capital of the world. Pit Lane Central.
Not sure what the carnage capital of the world is as far as racing is concerned. It's
Detroit.
probably one of the NASCAR short tracks, honestly. They tend to have a lot there.
NASCAR, we're putting it in the wall. Is a winning strategy, actually. Provable this year. Or last year, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Within a year of my stating this out loud.
It's an endorsable position.
Yep.
Give him the chrome. Chat, do we have any predictions for race number 2? Who you banking your money on? Purely for bragging rights, who's your call for winning this race?
Steve Dave.
Yeah, Steve Dave is a bold choice. Good to see that Andreas Wolf stuck around. Actually, 26 of the 27 cars have stuck around. So, despite having a couple of retirements in the first race, it looks like most people are around for a second try. It's good to see. Good to see.
Could be. I don't know what Scott's saying in chat here, but there's something about his auto is lasagna.
So
Something like that.
Scott Nick is backing Henrik Andreasen for the repeat. Which does seem pretty likely. After all, you know, this is a track where you're quite able to overtake. And that usually does mean that a reverse grid gives us a messier, more exciting, but sort of a return to the same result that we had in the first race. And he was kind of in a world of his own. So let's see. Nigel Wood leads us from pole. RWB Audi alongside Antonio Costa and Martin Evans. Actually, I'm going to go Costa. I'm gonna bank on Antonio Costa. Pick up the win here. And he is off to a good start, getting past Martin Edmonds at the start. Heading down into the first turn, they go wide, and oh, things are messy. Martin getting bumped. One of the Audis getting into things there.
Where is my helicopter shot?
And here we go. Actually, the helicopter around here is kind of garbage. I think probably because it's a street circuit and the helicopter can't really get in there.
Just got to go higher. Use a longer lens. Get it right. Come on.
So Nigel Wood leads the way from Antonio Costa, Clyde Britton, RWB Audi, RWB Rigel, Dirk Greshel, Max Haas, Martin Edmonds, Henrik Andreasen, and Marco Badowski. I think it was Badowski who was getting into Edmonds' back there. I think he was the bumper. And Dave Crew bringing up the back. We lost somebody in the changeover from warm-up to start. I think it was RWB Koss. As RWB Rigel goes down the inside into fourth position ahead of RWB Audi. And I'm saying the words RWB way too much, right?
The RWB with the BMW and the DTS and the DRS.
Martin Edmonds gets past Max Haas into 7th place for the Canadian. Xavier Jenny dropping to the back of the pack. Dirk Greshel on the tail of RWB Audi. He was one of the guys who had a really good race 1. See what he can do here in race 2.
Finally, the green car.
RWB Audi in the Schaeffler liveried Audi. Mike Rockefeller. That's on the short list of my favorite DTM liveries, to be honest. Very nice. Although no one's repping the Edo Martara Audi, which I think is probably my favorite livery of them all. Slash Loic Duval. I think also ran it as well. But, it's number 46 Audi livery from like the 2015-2016 period, if anyone knows that livery I'm talking about. That is my favorite one, but it looks like nobody is using it. Side-by-side action here between RWB Audi and RWB Rigel over 4th place. And one of the BMWs is way off track there. That was, I'm not sure who that was. Somebody falling down a lap already? I don't know. Nigel Wood still leads. Or, whoa. Antonio Costa losing out big time there to Bertrand Barrier. Or probably Clyde Britton. Wrong Deutsche Post car. Wrong Deutsche Post car. My apologies. Where is Barrier in the pecking order here? Is he one of the cars that we might have actually lost? No, there he is. He's in 13th. Unlucky 13. Henrik Andreasen down the inside.
Oh, boy.
But I think he'll lose that spot back to Max Haas because I think he dough-bombed that a little too hard and went too deep. He goes deep.
Him and Bob Ross.
He went deep about 50 yards when they only needed a 15-yard completion. Henrik Andreasen looking for a way past Max Haas. Marco Badowski in the Red Bull Audi behind them. Matthias Ekstrom livery. And behind them is Max Simmons. Side-by-side action. Andreasen versus Haas. He's got the inside line. Got a late overlap there, but gets the job done. And Simmons in the background overtaking Badowski. RWB Rigel, RWB Audi still battling. They're on the tail of Antonio Costa. Dirk Greschel in the mix there. Martin Edmonds in the mix there. And then the race one winner, Henrik Andreasen.
Are you trying to tell me that the people on the standings list are actually really close to each other?
Yes.
That's amazing.
Everybody is... There's a couple of gaps opening up. RWB Koss is a fair ways back, and the gap between RWB Dave Crew and Matt Al is quite large. But otherwise, very, very close. Dirk Greschel and Martin Edmonds going side by side. Ooh, got very close to RWB Audi. In the background, it is Andreasen versus Edmonds. Oh, Andreasen might have gone in the wall there.
Ooh.
And indeed, he is going to lose out a spot to Max Haas. Him and Martin Edmonds went careening into that wall there. And Andreasen's hard work is undone. It took him a while to get past Haas, and he's going to have to do it again.
That's a good song.
Meantime, Clyde Britton going for the lead against Nigel Wood. In the Deutsche Post yellow car, the Eurotronics blue for Wood. Gary Paffett versus Timo Glock, if you're a DTM fan.
What about the Timo Sigsa?
There really should be someone named Timo Sig for Timo Glock to feud with.
Indeed.
in motorsport.
Timo H&K.
I think the closest was, though, is there was a driver on the kart grid, or the Champ Car grid, when Timo Glock was there for like one season, whose last name was Winchester. That was about as close as we got.
That is pretty good.
And Clyde Britton goes to the lead. RWB Audi, in the meantime, swapping back a spot as Dirk Greschel overtakes him, and Martin Edmonds trying to do the same.
Mike, are you ready for your animal fact of the day?
Tobias Thierl, by the way, suggesting that there might be some damage to Henrik Andreasen's car. We'll check in on that, but yeah. Hit us up with our animal fact of the day.
Most sharks do not attend church.
Oh, I would imagine so. Let's get a look at Henrik Andreasen's car here. It looks okay, Tobias. So I think he is okay. I'm not seeing any crumpling or any dents. As up ahead of him, that is Martin still trying to get past RWB Audi. And, oh, Hendrick is trying to stick it around the outside of him. Here we go. Andreas has got the inside line. And he's got it. 7th place. No putting in the wall for Martin this time.
No mercy. Everyone goes on the wall.
No mercy for your soul. Everything is so close together now. It's I apologize if we missed anything because there's a lot of battles going on right now. And Martin Edmonds has got back past Hendrick on the straightaway. Going into the first corner, it'll be Max Haas trying to get a line on Hendrick. Hendrick trying to get past Martin. Martin trying to get past RWB Audi. This could be messy. Oh! Good car control there from Hendrick. Good car control.
Every time, it could be carnage and destruction and Right.
We've had a little bit of carnage. We had a pretty good
20
bang
miles an
up.
hour.
We had a pretty good bang up in the first corner at the start of the race.
They got pool floaties taped to their bumpers.
Oh, not these cars, no. Hendrick going down the inside of Martin in the final turn. And that's 7th place for the race winner from race number 1. Rene Ermer battling with your boy, Josiah Jerome, up in 13th place.
Ha-cha-cha.
Ermer in 14th. Ermer having a much better day. In the meantime, things are still heating up in the battle for 6th. RWB Audi getting knocked into the wall a little bit there by Henrik Andreasen. Max Haas looking to get past Martin Edmonds. Inside line for RWB Audi. He will retain the spot for now ahead of Henrik Andreasen. And the guys at the front need to be making time right now while Henrik is caught up in this fight, because the chat is correct. If you give Henrik Andreasen the ability to get towards you, he is the fastest guy out here, and he is in fact past RWB Audi. Max Haas is past Martin Edmonds. And Antonio Costa, my pick, is unfortunately going backwards, having lost out to Dirk Greschel now. And Andreasen will be next up for Antonio Costa. RWB Rigel looking to make a move on Nigel Wood for 2nd place there. We'll see if he can pull it off. We'll see if Antonio Costa can pull it off, as he is looking to try to fight back against Dirk Greschel. There's the inside line for RWB Rigel. 2nd place for the Brit.
He's going to pull into that pit lane, and then he can pull it all the way off.
RWB Audi is still in all kinds of trouble. He's got Max Haas, Martin Edmonds, and now Max Simmons, Mark Obdowski, and Bertrand Barrier queued up behind him. And Byron, we know Bertrand Barrier is a man who doesn't need much of a hole to go for it.
And he also puts up a certain Barrier 2 entry.
Martin Edmonds is through on RWB Audi, and so is Max Simmons. Marco Badowski might also be coming through in the Red Bull livery. Mistake by RWB Audi. He wound up too wide. And he is in trouble.
Wow, body shaming.
Sir, we know that it's not body shaming for me, man. We're talking about...
You can't just come out here and say people are too
Sir,
wide.
Daniel Cormier is peak male performance, and you just need to admit that.
That is correct. Fueled by Popeyes.
I love that that's making its way around on Twitter with some big muscly dude from like the Congo lost in KSW like a couple weeks ago or whatever.
Oh,
like,
right, yeah.
Like horribly. So it's making the rounds that they got him beside Daniel Cormier with people. People just aren't ready to admit that this is peak male performance. As Bertrand Barrier goes past RWB Audi into 11th place. Further back, let's give some love to Rene Ermer. He's battling it out with Andrew D over 14th position. Looks like D has got that covered for the time being. Max Simmons on the attack against Max Haas. There can be only one.
So hostile.
Indeed. Can Max Simmons get the job done? Down the inside of Max Haas into 8th place at the last turn. And he's got DRS. And I think he's got it. I mean, at least for now. Like this could flip back easily. It's also a good fight going on between RWB Marco and Matt Al. We'll check in on that at some point. Oh, it's very close, Max. let's check it out. Mad Al on the outside of RWB Marco. Marco down the inside. Oh, that is not good. Mad Al, I don't know where you thought RWB Marco was going to go, but I think Jake Wilson's going to be the one to profit off of all that as he is going to move past both of them in his Pink Panther, I think. No. Mad Al not giving up. Whoa!
Hello.
Jake Wilson loses control. And Mad Al is going to drop back behind RWB Marco and Magic Kazchuk in the Marco Wittmann Red Bull BMW. Bertrand Barrier up on the tail of Marco Badowski. Can Barrier find his way into the top 10 here?
Nope. Maybe. Possibly.
As I get rid of my antivirus, trying to update itself.
We are pro-virus around these parts.
Barrier down the inside, can't get the job done. At least not for now. This is the closest battle on the track right now. This train of cars here. Further back, Mad Al is back at it with RWB Marco. This time it's over 19th place.
Would like to hear in chat who's the best driver out there. Is it gray car, black car, yellow car, or the other gray car, possibly the other black car, or maybe green car?
Down the inside, Marco Badowski holds on against Barrier, but was unable to get past Max Haas there for 9th place. And the Red Bull hangs on.
Red car, we have
Josiah Jerome now up on the back of this. No, RWB Audi.
He's Audi the race. That's what that is.
Veering off into the wall. He does rejoin. He's still there. He's going to drop down a couple spots there. And he's going to lose out to Rene Ermer here, as well as Andrew D. And not sure who that was in front of them. RWB Crew. Actually, we got both of the Robert Wickens liveries in there. Andrew D's got the older livery and the newer livery there for RWB Dave Crew.
We have also a vote for Gulf Oil, so the two correct answers have been chosen. Thank you for playing. We appreciate your participation.
Bertrand Barrier on the attack against Badowski again, looking for top 10. Well, actually, it's yeah, it would be top 10. And Josiah Jerome is sticking his nose in there as well. And it is going to be Barrier getting past Badowski. Can Josiah follow him through? No. Looks like Josiah got a bad run out of the final turn there. There's a second Deutsche Post car in there. That is a lapped car of Laissez Passer, I do. Because there is nobody that they would be battling for position with in that livery. So that's a blue flag scenario.
A likely story.
Well, he also did just let Barrier through.
Purple flags only.
Josiah Jerome on the back of Marco Badowski in the background. Henrik Andreasen, by the way, up into 3rd place, battling with RWB Rigel. Having gotten past Nigel Wood. Just 2.5 seconds up the road for Clyde Britton. Lapped car in the mix there. That is Xavier Eugenie, I think. No, it's not Xavier.
Could be.
Sure that is. Andreasen up in his 2nd place.
Professor Xavier.
As I'm surprised you actually haven't made more jokes about Xavier Jenny and being, Professor X.
Well, I mean, you're usually saying how much he's losing and how much he's terrible at racing.
No,
and stuff,
normally I'm talking about how good he is. Actually, this is a rare underperforming race for him, to be honest.
I didn't want to just jump on the guy,
like
some people.
Like real talk here. Normally, I'm used to seeing Xavier Jenny as a top 10 competitor, and to see him down in 22nd place is kind of like, it boggles my mind and my grip on reality, to be honest. Josiah Jerome did get past Marco Badowski into 11th place. Looks like the blue flags might have played a role in there. Let's see if Marco can get back past him. Marco had a fantastic first race. He was top 5. But race 2 is not treating him quite as kindly. Henrik Andreasen, by the way, is about 0.2 of a second faster than Clive Britton on each of the last 2 laps. So, something to keep in mind as far as the battle for the lead goes. Badowski down the inside of Josiah into turn 1. And he's got it. Rene Ehrman, as well as RWB Audi and Dave Crew battling it out there. Josiah Jerome looking for payback on Marco Badowski.
Put him in the wall.
Martin Edmonds and Max Simmons are close together once again. And Martin is looking to make the move here. Third car in this mix is Max Haas. So it's Max versus Martin versus Max. All 3 constructors actually in that mix. We got Martin with the Audi and the BMW of Max Haas and the Mercedes of Max Simmons.
Oh, I didn't know they were construction.
RWB Marco versus Mad Al. We checked in on this fight a couple of times. Going side by side down to the first corner. RWB Marco around the outside. And he's got it.
Please tell me he has a clothing line and it's called RWB Polo.
Ooh, Antonio Costa and Dirk Greschel going at it. This is over 5th position. And Costa might get it here. He's going to have to go around the outside of Greschel into turn 2, though. And, yeah, he is not going to be able to get that. Martin, Max, and Max battling it out over 7th place. Bertrand Barrier, by the way, in the top 10. Max Simmons defends against Max Haas. And further back, it is Laissez Passer versus Xavier Eugenie. Bit of contact there, a little bit unnecessary contact if I'm being completely honest. Side by side through 2 and 3. And it looks like Eugenie is going to come out on top in the, maybe not. Head towards the final turn. Eugenie's got the inside line. And that does not stop Passe from kind of just turning into him there. That might end up in front of the stewards. So.
Snitch.
Hey, I mean, RWB does not review the commentary for stewarding purposes, so it's actually not snitching. They got to report it.
Wow, that's fair.
That's just me. That's just me saying to Mr. Eugeni that he might have a case.
We have a question about Rick the Model Martel's continual modeling career.
Oh, it's taken off. He's huge in Eastern Europe right now.
Yeah, well.
Matt L down the inside of RWB Marco as these two continue to switch around 19th place. Scott Nick also saying the cars look really laggy. I mean, I think some of the cars look laggy. There's always going to be a little bit. Obviously, the server is up in Europe, so there is going to be a level of more lag than we're used to seeing from some of the ESR contenders because, well, they have a higher ping than we're used to seeing them have. That's kind of really it. Perhaps Tobias can comment on why indeed his connection dropped.
Because he lives behind the wall du Berlin.
Maybe it's just an anti-Gronk sentiment. As Max Haas goes down the inside of Martin Edmonds. Martin closes the door on Max Simmons rather aggressively. Although I will say Max is being a little bit opportunistic going for that move, I think. But it's all fair. Martin hangs on. Oh! And Bertrand Barrier loses control of the car and ends up in the wall. Barrier ending up in the barriere. Puts Marco Badowski up into the top 10 in his Red Bull liveried Audi. Tobias says that he should have given his game a restart before the race, which is probably a good idea. All I can say is this is anti-Gronk propaganda. We lost our starting left fielder out there in this race, and it's unacceptable. He's my number 3 hitter, and that's the most important part because he hits in front of Byron in the lineup.
Which means you're the first one to be out before I get up to bed.
Well, not normally, but actually he's hitting close to 300 actually in this season.
No, wait, he's the last one out, and then I get to be up in the next inning.
I've kind of changed it up. I've given up on having Kevin bat in front of you because Kevin's RBI dud and complete slow base running is a bit of a problem. Max Simmons on the tail. Martin Edmonds. Battle for 8th place. Max Haas now in front of both of them. This is the closest battle out there. I'm keeping an eye on Andreasen and his gap to Clyde Britton, but it is still over a second and a half. So with 2 minutes and change to go, I don't honestly know if he's going to be able to catch him because actually that last lap, Britton was the faster of the two. So it feels like kind of the podium might be as is, barring a relatively major mistake. Whoa! Martin leaning a bit there on Max out of corner 1. Into corner 2 they go. Martin's going to hang on again. Give him a bit of a hip check there. Also, keep in mind, guys who are discussing the lag, you do have to recall that the computer that we are watching right now, as Max Haas loses control of the car and spins around, this is Martin's computer, which means that we are connecting from the west coast of Canada to a European server. So there's going to be a drop in quality of the connection just on a pure geographical level.
Actually, I believe Martin has fled to Singapore.
Well then, Singapore to Europe then.
tax purposes.
Who do you think he is? Shatri Sidioton?
Wow. No, Martin's got much better taste in whiskey.
Hangs on against Max there in this battle for 7th place, which is very live right now. Though Antonio Costa is right up on Nigel Wood still. And he has brought with him Dirk Greschel for 4th place. And I think Costa's going to get this. He's got a very good run here to the inside. Yeah, he's easily got that. In fact, the question is, can Greschel get past Wood?
But what about the King of the Britons?
Well, he's out in front.
He's 36 laps ahead of everybody. Look at that count.
1.4 seconds up on ya boy, Henrik Andreasen. Although they did lose 0.3 that last lap, but I don't think there's enough time. So sorry, guys in chat who are cheering for Henrik Andreasen. I think he's going to come up short today.
Wow, just because he's only 5'2".
He's got one more lap to do it. Clyde Britton's got to deal with a lapped car here. Number 84 car there. That's the Maxi Goots livery, but I'm not sure whom is driving it. Could be Rick Martel, but I don't think Rick's running that car.
No, Scott, poutine jokes do not get old. I devour them with relish.
Andreas Wolf and Xavier Eugeni on the battle to the line. Wolf still ahead, 23rd place. Checker flag not out yet. But it will be soon. Clyde Britton is going to bring it on home, everybody.
You didn't vote for him, but he's
got the win. 2nd place going to go to the Mercedes driver, Henrik Andreasen. RWB Rigel brings it home in 3rd position ahead of Antonio Costa and Dirk Greschel, as you can see on your screen there. The Eurotronics car of Nigel Wood, followed by Martin Edmonds, followed by Max Simmons, Marco Badowski, and Josiah Jerome, your top 10. And the best battle still going looks like it's going to be Xavier Eugeni, the number 12 car. And I don't think he's going to be able to haul in Andreas Wolf. As they cross the line in 22nd and 23rd position. I think that's basically everybody done. Again, I kind of wish that a little checkered flag appeared next to the guys who were done. But Clyde Britton, your winner, fastest lap, and 2nd place to Henrik Andreasen. He is your top scorer on the day. RWB Rigel, Antonio Costa, Dirk Greschel, Nigel Wood, Martin Edmonds, Max Simmons. They had a fantastic battle. Simmons might have a case against Martin. I'm just saying. Marco Badowski, Josiah Jerome rounding up the top 10, followed by Max Haas, Bertrand Barrier, RWB Dave Crew, Andrew D. RWB Audi had a horrible day. Like a podium was possibly in the cards for him. He ends up in 15th place. That hurts. Rene Ermer, Real Valoria. I don't think we even looked at Real Valoria that whole time. Real Valoria.
He was in pit.
Matt Al, 18th place. RWB Marco. We saw a lot of that battle. Jake Wilson. And then, well, I've been booted. So, you know.
Get out. Get out and don't come back until the time afterwards.
Indeed.
Be sure to purchase all products on your screen. And visit raceday.watch. Join the Discord. Upvote the thing. Are we even still broadcasting?
We are still broadcasting.
And make sure to take your vitamins, or somebody else will take them for you. And then they'll be all vitamined up.
We're mostly still broadcasting because I don't know how to get us out of broadcasting since I don't have the ability to get out of the game.
Open a browser in the same window as you've got Parsec open in, and you'll be able to preemptively alt-tab that shit.
I can't.
Then move a browser into that window. Here we are. Welcome to Tech Talk. Welcome to the Tech Talk podcast. I will be your host.
I thought I could turn it off from the YouTube control screen, but I can't seem to find it.
He's not listening to me. Do you hear me when I'm speaking of that? He can't. He's dead. R.I.P. Maggle. The unseasonable coldness down there in North Detroit has frozen his brain hole, and he is unable to technicall.
At some point, you'll realize it's Buffalo.
You're basically North Detroit, east or western Buffalo. You're in there. You're that area. Oh my God, he killed everything. Or did he?